the culture is always moving. We need to tell the culture where to go. Otherwise, culture is always changing.
Yeah.
We need to be the one showing the culture where to go.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you don't just follow the culture because everybody's after an expensive ring. You also go after it.
Yeah.
I think it's time for girls to say no to expensive rings.
Hi, welcome to Mike and Christelle podcast, where family meets faith and fun.
Today we are talking about engagement rings.
Yeah.
And the question is, are expensive engagement rings more romantic? Babe, we normally value marriages, and
Yes, we do.
we also believe in marriage as a divine institution.
Yeah.
So we believe in that. And we are big fans of like things like rings, like wedding rings.
Yeah.
If you can watch our previous episode on
Wedding rings.
So we believe in the beauty and the value of wedding rings.
Yeah.
But here comes engagement rings too, and that is something that we've seen in the Western culture, even in African culture, even in Eastern cultures.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as
Engagement ring.
engagement rings. Does the price of the ring define the level of commitment
yeah.
or the level of love that you have for your spouse? Is there any correlation? What do you think?
The price of the engagement ring does not necessarily say commitment, because if it was that,
Yeah.
so many people wouldn't be divorced. Like so many people who have divorced have had wonderful rings. I don't think necessarily that means the person is committed if they give you this expensive ring that you have to show off everywhere. And
But
stuff.
what if? Like I think there is also a value to that. There is, you show to the girl that you really care.
Absolutely.
When you bring an expensive ring, that means you show that you care. Somehow, I would say there is a sign of love. If the more expensive, the more I struggle to find it, the
Yeah.
more I prove to you that I really care.
Well, yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, let's say I mean, some people can afford those type of rings.
Yes.
So if you can afford that and give it away because you can, but some people get in a lot of trouble to get those type of
Like what?
things. Like, for example, they don't even earn that much money.
Yes.
But they go out of their way to get that type of.
Yeah, that's my way to show you that I love you.
But you
As a
don't
man.
need to go into debt to show me that you love me. What
I
about-
want really to show that I love you. So
Yeah.
I will go out of my way to prove to you that, I can do all these things. I can even go in debt
Oh my
to
goodness.
prove to you that I love
That
you.
is scary. Then once we're married, you have to pay back that ring.
And we have to pay together.
Oh.
Like we are going to save money
See, it
together.
doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense that
Yeah, it
you would
doesn't
go
make sense.
all your ways to kind of buy something, go into debt
Yes.
to buy something that expensive that you can't afford,
Yeah.
and then spend the whole time paying that. But it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've seen people really who think that the price of the ring defines the
commitment,
level of commitment or the level of love they have for their
Like,
spouses.
where did that come from? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. I think it's in the culture. I think it has been embedded in culture that you have to give this expensive ring to show to your girl, or to show to the family, or to show to someone. I don't know who, but to impress. and that will bring me to the second thing, the second point, because some women also expect an expensive ring.
Absolutely, yeah, that's
To
true.
impress their friends, to impress their families, to impress
show
someone.
off,
Yeah, to show off. And that also happens. Like,
Yeah.
the girl will demand, like, I would love.
Do you think though the pressure? Does the pressure come from the girl side, or the pressure comes from the men's side?
I
don't
think
know.
I think we need to reevaluate culture very carefully, because if the girl feels like by getting an expensive ring, it makes her more valuable, or that there is a problem with the girl. That's my opinion. There is a problem with the girl. We can't just blame culture. We need to make a difference in the culture and lead the culture instead of following the culture. The culture is always moving. We need to tell the culture where to go. Otherwise, culture is always changing.
Yeah.
We need to be the one showing the culture where to go.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you don't just follow the culture because everybody's after an expensive ring. You also go after it.
Yeah.
I think it's time for girls to say no to expensive rings. I think it's time for a girl to not to expect an expensive ring to show off that, my fiance gave me this, it's.
I really think
I
agree. I think there's an issue if a girl would expect an expensive ring from the fiance.
Yes.
For that to define how committed they are.
Yeah.
There's a big issue because commitment doesn't come from necessarily those material stuff.
Yes, in the West mostly it's the ring that speaks value.
Wow.
In most African countries, it's the dowry, it's the money that you pay to the family that says how much you value the girl. And personally, I don't think we should put the value of a human being into the money we spend. I think it's wrong for both sides, for the man and for the woman, for the family of the girl, for the family of the boy, to think that they are going to show each other value in the amount of money they are spending.
Yeah.
The value that I have for you has nothing to do with how much money I had 20 years ago before we got married and how much money I have now.
Yeah.
Maybe when we got married, my family did not have anything. I did not have anything, and I just paid a small amount of money or nothing. And today I may be a millionaire, and I can afford big stuff. So you can't really determine how much value I have for you for the based on the money I spend. That's my opinion.
Do you think that, like you said before, the culture kind of drives so many things? We need to direct the culture and tell us
we
where
need to
go.
shape the culture.
Do you think all this started just recently as the culture was changing, or it's something that was there even before we were born or something?
Oh, yes, of course. This ring stuff are old time stuff. Like rings have been part of weddings since maybe the Roman Empire or even before that. So rings have been part of history. Even in the Bible, we see rings. But engagement ring to be commercialized in this way.
Yeah.
It's something that happened in the 50s, I think. I read a story about it.
Yeah.
It's something that business companies, like the jewelry companies they try to promote it as if it has to be a 2-month wage. It has to be the value of a 2-month wage at least minimum.
I heard that you even have to kind of put that ring under warranty. That you have to protect the ring. You have to. Wow.
That's more money you spend on the same ring.
On the same ring.
And honestly, it doesn't.
I'm not sure though. I heard that you have to kind of pay some guarantee for insurance. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, if you buy a $1 million or $500,000 or $30,000, we see celebrities spending really hundreds of thousands of dollars on rings,
and it doesn't make their marriages, not all of them, but it doesn't make their marriages last. Yeah. So,
but things get worse when people go out of their way to buy engagement rings because they said it has to be a 2-month wage value. 2-month wage. I think the focus should be on your marriage.
Yes.
The two of you should come together and decide how much you're going to spend.
Yeah.
And start from there.
Yeah, I think so.
Save it.
Yeah.
Buy an engagement ring that falls within your capacity. Something $200, $300.
No, don't put a price
that's fine.
on it. Don't put a price on it.
I'm trying to suggest.
I'm trying to suggest
to people what to do. And if you can't afford even $200, find something in aluminium. $2.
No, don't do it.
It's love. Love. Something in plastic, $1.
No, my goodness. We don't need to put a price on it. What we need to do is the person need to really think. Both of them need to think clearly what is important here.
Yes.
Do we go out and spend this much money for an engagement ring?
Yeah.
Or do we put that money in a house? Or, something that, I don't know.
Your ring is not cheap, but it's within our
Absolutely,
It's
what I'm
within
saying.
our
I would be
our
scared. I'd be like, oh,
capacity, I
everybody's
think.
gonna see me.
I think the whole point is to buy something you can afford.
Yes,
Don't
absolutely.
go out of your way to buy something. It's wrong because you are going to get married and you need to focus on your marriage, not your wedding, your marriage. It's not bad to organize a great
A beautiful
wedding,
wedding, beautiful dress, all that,
or engagement
awesome.
party or whatever, but don't try to impress anyone. I think trying to impress people, it's all damages you. It's all, it hurts you. It hurts you.
Do you think social media has made that even a big thing? That
Oh
it
yes,
has?
of course. Not only
'Cause
social,
everybody
the media in
the
general.
media in general, yeah.
Like when we compare ourselves to
the
what
media.
we see in movies, we compare ourselves to what we see on the media. We try to do that. Oh, I saw that engagement in a movie. The ring was really beautiful. How much was it? $30,000. I want that. Or social media, I want people to see. I saw this beautiful engagement, proposal
Oh, this
that happened.
wedding, it's beautiful.
Yes, and you want to show people that your wedding was like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think engagement rings should fall within your
Capacity.
your income. If you can afford a very expensive one, expensive is relative.
That's a good one.
Yeah, expensive is relative. For some people, 1 million is not expensive because they have billions. So that's fine. It's still a lot of money, but they don't feel it as if someone who, when you spend $100, it's your whole monthly income.
Yeah.
It depends on which country you are in and which job you do.
Yeah.
If you really care, you can call your fiancé and say, look, this is what we have for our marriage.
Yeah.
We still need to rent a house, or we still need to
Or buy
buy
a house. Yeah.
Oh, you save the $20,000 and put it in a deposit for a mortgage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Instead of spending $10,000 on a ring, use the money to put something in a mortgage and buy a home.
Yeah.
Buy a house. That's wisdom. Do something that will make your marriage better, not your wedding. Your marriage.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong to have this great wedding if you can afford it.
Yeah.
But everything is wrong if you are going out of your way to just impress people who don't even care about you. They are just going to come to your wedding, or they're just going to like your post and go away. They don't care if you are fine, if your marriage works or not. They don't try to impress people who don't care about you.
Yeah. So
That's
what's
mine.
the verdict?
Never borrow money for an engagement ring to a bank or to anything or to anyone. Like, just buy it if you can afford it. Think about your marriage needs, not just your
That
engagement.
should be the first thing in your mind.
Yes, marriage needs. Yes.
Should be the first thing in your mind, not necessarily
That's what we
wedding
think.
ring and all those
Yes.
stuff that.
So our verdict is expensive engagement rings are not necessarily romantic.
Yes.
They are not. They don't even say anything about romance. Romance is between the two of you, how
Yeah.
you feel about it.
Yeah.
They can be romantic if you can afford it. That's my view.
I'm with you. So think about marriage.
Yes.
That should be the first thing on your mind.
Yeah.
And then if you can afford it, go and buy an expensive engagement ring.
Yes.
You don't need to go out of your way and put yourself in debt just because you want to have an expensive rings. And we are talking to both of them,
Yeah.
the boy and the girl, because they need to come. You need to come down and sit down and talk about these things.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be necessarily something that's put on the expectation that's put on the boy already, even before he has said anything. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and listening. Remember, when family is healthy, the nation is healthy.
Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our future episodes.
See you next time.
See you.
Bye.